Yeah.
He did today, and I know. Just to hear me out. He did today end birthright citizenship.
For a day.
Okay. That shit is the most and that's the thing. It's the other thing that could be backlash for. That is one of, if not the most explicit law in all of the constitutional amendments.
It's more drawn out than the Second Amendment.
It's more drawn out than the Second Amendment.
100%.
It's very clear. It's if you are born here or you are born in the U.S. jurisdiction, you are a U.S. citizen. It is in plain language. So how any judge, and they can try, any judge can like put word salad vomit to say, well, accept this. Like it's the level of backlash and scrutiny would have long term consequences because there's literally
there's going to be
no
American.
way to do it with any sort of logical background. You'll just have to be saying like, I just want to do it, and that will bring its own sort of problem.
Well, they would
There's
frame
going to
it.
be Americans.
Chaz, go on.
Well,
I was
I'm
just
saying
gonna say, yeah.
there's going to be Americans that are born today and tomorrow or later on this month and this year that are going to be affected by that, and their paperwork is going to be held up. There's going to be somebody that fell through the crack because of this. There's going to be someone that was born here in America that is an American,
Absolutely.
but with this, it just they got missed, right? And they're not going to be an American. Someone's going to grow up here and not going to be an American, even if it's one person. It is going to happen. So I don't like the idea of he can't because he has immunity. He can, and it's really for the courts to decide if he can. Can can birthright citizenship be overturned? It shouldn't. Is the right way to put that. But it's not. I can't. It's not. He can't. It's just he shouldn't. It shouldn't be able to.
Well, I guess let me argue real quick. I'll say the 14th Amendment was specifically targeted towards slaves,
Blacks.
black
Yeah.
African American slaves.
Yeah.
So I guess to argue, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I guess the argument would be like to narrow the target of that rule that it was not intended for immigrants. It was intended specifically for African
Correct.
Americans. So therefore, this it has like immigrants were not part of the 14th Amendment. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do, but I'm saying
No, but I
there's
think
an
that
argument to be made for that.
if you are a Republican that's a what do you call it a originalist, then
Yeah.
yeah, that is an originalist concept. It's not for immigrants. It's
Yeah,
not.
but the originalists are also talked about being textualist, and the text is very clear. So again, it will be a word salad, word vomit, I'm making shit up just to do it explanation because it won't have any legal basis or any sort of rational thing. They can say it and they can get a case and say, you know what, we've decided to give it to them, but like anything they put pen to paper on that like decision background will be just complete garbage and will have lasting consequences for rule of law. I'm not saying that they won't,
Right.
because there's a chance that they may do it anyway. But like,
Yeah.
there's nothing they can put down because it's so blatantly clear. To like it should be immediately thrown out. It's so blatantly clear. But if they don't want to do it, then they want it. Then we're in a whole different world, and we've got a huge problem.
And I don't want to because this would go on all night, but I do think they're going to go the invasion route. I think that's the route they go. I think that holds the most weight. He's been saying invasion since 2016, so I think they go the invasion route. If they go the invasion route, and they're going to have multiple arguments, but I think that invasion route is going to be their main argument. And I think they're going to try something along those lines to get rid of it. That's what I think.
And
I think
also,
it's going to be the invasion route.
and also along those lines, I don't think it'll be that unpopular. I don't think it's
I
going to be
agree.
something with like
Let me-
70% of people are going to be against. I think it'll be like 50-50.
No, let me tell you where I stand on all of that, right?
Okay.
I want them to invade. I want them to get rid of birthright citizenship.
Oh my God.
I want them to do all the shit. I want them to do all the shit because it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's goddamn stupid. It is gonna bite everyone in the ass. And at some time, people are gonna wake up and be like, "Yo, actually, that was some dumb shit we did. Look at all the mayhem and chaos and dead people and ruined lives. Let's not do that ever again. So do it. Just do it quick. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just do the shit. Do it.
Acceleration.
Acceleration, because every time a pillar of justice shows up and says, no, 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 I'm going to stop you. It's it's like
me.
how it's like we keep giving Gilligan a pass. At some point, let the nigga die. Let him die, like kill him in his sleep. Kill Gilligan. The nigga's Gilligan, and we should like he should be left to his own devices. You're not coming back with us, Gilligan. We're tying you up. We're making the raft, and you're gonna die on this island by yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? We keep being like, it's okay, Gilligan. Let's stop Gilligan from fucking shit up. Like, no. You tie Gilligan up and leave him for dead.
So politically, you're arguing that Democrats should not they shouldn't even bother voting against this stuff. They should just abstain, essentially.
They should just be like, look, do you, bro? And have the public see them being like, wait, normally they fight against this stuff and they try to help us. Oh wait, they try to help us. Wait, all this stuff is bad.
We're not gonna help you now.
Oh wait, so yeah, no, we're want to help you guys. You voted for
Have the thing.
Because when a motherfucker comes at you with that energy, you start looking at the thing like, do I want the thing?
And that's the reaction they get all the time when people are like, well, I hope you get what you voted for. What is that supposed to mean? Like, you tell me you voted for this. Like, if I got all the things I voted for, I'd be very happy. But you seem to have a problem with it. So
right. You seem to be.
I don't understand.
You see it as a threat.
Yeah, like you see it as a threat. Like, I don't understand why you would say that. I hope you get what you voted for as a threat. I'm very confused.
Well, Chaz, I mean, you mentioned before, and like the idea of just let shit burn is a strategy that might work, but I'm a little bit concerned that you talked about this, Chaz, is the real propaganda. And I feel like that's the right wing plan is to essentially have all the propaganda outlets on lock. So if shit does hit the fan, they'll find a way to blame everyone but themselves. I mean, is that something you're worried about when you think about like just letting stuff burn?
I mean, to be honest, I just think about people dying. I mean, just like straight it down. Like to me, it's just not worth it. Like, hey, we're gonna have to lose a bunch of Americans to get through this. I'm not comfortable with that. I just am not. Like, that's not worth to me. I don't. The problem for me, the problem with fuck around and find out means is they fucked around, but now we all got to find out.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to be a part of the find out, right? So it's not fair that like I got to be part of the find out. You know, there's going to be kids and orphans that got to be part of the find out. Like all these Americans got to be part of the find out, and that's real lives, that's real homes, that's real jobs.
Yeah.
So, as far as the propaganda, I do think that, you know, America is, even if you know, kind of the homogeneity, America's not immune to propaganda. It's just it's not. So, I think that we thought we were, and I think that there is a little bit of an arrogance, like, hey, maybe these things can't happen in America, maybe that can't happen in America. There is no American exceptionalism here. I you know, I think that I do believe that Americans are different, but you know, Americans basically were like tribes, right? And there's a bunch of tribes in other countries. I think they saw themselves very differently than we do. But propaganda is real, and it can change minds, but even worse, it can control minds.
Right.
That's kind of what's happening.
And to me, the reason why I'm excited about it is because
excited is an interesting word, by the way. Excited
it really is because I'm looking at
the reason why I'm excited about the Book of Eli.
No, but I'm looking at it from the potential of what could happen at the end of this, right? Because realistically, because Chaz is right. Like a lot of people are gonna get fucked up, and the thing about it is, if you are aware or woke, as it would be, right, and you know what is actually coming, then you're in a position where you can at least try to buffer yourself, think about it, look at what's happening, and figure out what is it you're doing. Like today, earlier, you know, I was talking to Justin. I think we had in the text message thing where Justin was like, everyone take a look at autopilot. You get to bet like on the stock market the same as Nancy Pelosi and them, right? Like, okay, cool. If you're gonna fuck me, right, I might as well put on some lipstick and get some of that Diddy baby oil. like, but if you don't realize you're about to get fucked and you run out there with a raw asshole, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, Like, and that's the thing. It's like you have to think. Like I told you guys before. I was like, oh shit, that nigga won. Okay, how much for a Glock 19? I didn't learn how to shoot this thing.
North Carolina made a law where you're not allowed to wear a mask in public. So yeah,
That's
there's
fucking
nothing
absurd.
funny about that. Like
a basically pandemic mask, like a regular, like you can't
the
wear a
law.
base.
You
Wow.
can wear
Like
a
if you have
Klan
like
hood.
allergies, or you have like any, like
No,
you can't.
that's not in the
Like,
law. That's not in the law. What is an exception is a Klan hood, but you do have to get municipality's permission. You can
wow,
wear that, but the one you're talking about, like allergies and shit, no, that's against the law. And so
it's fucking
and you can look this up.
idiocracy.
This is North Carolina. I'm being dead serious.
So
And
you wait,
I'm
wait,
not
wait, real quick,
laughing.
just to specify, you can wear a Klan hood, but
Yeah,
you
with
can't
the
wear like a,
municipality's
With
permission.
the municipality's blessing.
but you
Right.
can't wear like a KN95.
No, because the Klan wants a freedom of speech.
But the KN95 isn't.
No,
I'm
sir.
speaking. I don't feel like getting sick from all these germs around these people that are around me.
Take that mask off. Put this hood
Wow,
on.
Okay, so
wow.
you get caught
So
in
my, I'm
mask.
getting.
You get a
Huh?
ticket. You get a
Huh?
ticket, or they like do they take you in?
I don't think anything happens, but it's on the
It's on
books,
the books.
right? It's
Okay.
on the books.
Oh,
And
okay.
so my kind of my point to this is that that even if you know what's coming, these guys, when we're going to bed tonight, these guys are still working on shit and still they're not going to sleep. Just not to get all spiritual. Evil never sleeps. It's in the Bible. So when
Right.
when you're sleeping, they're working on how to fuck you. There is no time to get lipstick. We're all gonna get fucked. That's what's gonna happen. They're
Yeah,
like
no, we're all
they
gonna
But
get
I
want.
think
fucked. The
it,
question is, how much baby oil can you get your hands on? Now, it might not be.
Right.
You might be like, this is still pretty raw, but like, at least you know to get the shit. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's
I,
like
I think
do you want to see the train coming or do you want to turn around? Like which way are you laying on the tracks? Are you watching it come to you or are you laying the other way? Which way? Because that's really what it is. But the train is
The
coming
train's coming.
because Klan hoods are legal in North Carolina, but
yes,
medical masks are not.
yes.
oh my
Yes.
god. See, I
North
think like
Carolina, a
I
purple
think
state.
All I'm saying is this, Chaz. We could really use some firefighters out here. So,
so keep going.
that's like let me hand you some baby oil. Come to California.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
time to get out of red states.
and that's the thing. That was the whole point of the Great Migration from Black people in the South. They were like,
Absolutely.
"This is some bullshit. Let me go where I don't have to deal with as much as." No, don't get me wrong. You're still going to see some bullshit, but like,
Right.
it's going to be the same. There's no sundown towns and fucking like, yeah, I'm gonna go to
Massachusetts.
Compton, bro. Yeah, like Massachusetts. Like, I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like at some point in time, that also has to be part of your people's calculus. It's like, okay, well, and this is what I mean by like the lipstick and the lube. It's kind of like, all right, well, okay, this is gonna suck, and I don't want to do any of this. And even before this, when I tell you guys, like me and my sisters were talking about the house in Ghana. Like if they, for whatever reason, were like, hey, let's say you're fucking illegal, and Governor Newsom was like, he's over there. I gotta figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm not gonna do is be like, woe is me. I'm be like, no, I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm gonna live my life. Peace and abundance. I'm gonna have it, no matter what. Peace and abundance.
Well, I do think there's a pervasive feeling of like partly being demoralized, but partly being like, okay, this is the system we live in, so this is make do. This is buy some Trump coins. This buy at 20, sell at 40. Let's make a buck. That we're a plutocracy, so let's just own it. And that's not healthy either. I mean, that's more proactive than like fleeing, but it doesn't
But
seem
it's like
like
really the
go on, Justin.
Fleeing's a
that's
good
the best you can
idea.
do though. That's the best you can do though. Can you really do anything else? I think
Right.
that's the hard part. Is
Flee.
that like we're like, well, flee. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's
Yeah,
like if
but-
you don't want to
but-
flee, you kind of have to make the best of it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fuck around and find out. We all have to find out, which sucks. But to Jose's point, if you know it, then you need to be prepared
Yeah.
and make your arrangements. Like at the end of the day, like I hate that it has to be this way, but to Jose's point, like eventually you have to. If people want to keep touching the stove, eventually be like, touch the fucking stove and burn.
And mind you, you're
I
gonna
don't
feel
know
the
what
pain
other
too.
way to make you see the problem than if you do it, because you people have been fucking voting against your economic interests to keep this country white as long as humanly possible. And so that interest has to just get crushed in trampled on before you really understand how bad the problem is. And that really sucks. It's going to hurt a lot of people. There are going to be some people in blue states that didn't vote for this that is going to happen to. There's going to be some people in red states that didn't vote for this that's going to happen to. And that really sucks. But a disproportionate amount of those people this is going to happen to are in red states that actually voted for this shit, because those are the states that people have to get funding. Those are the poorest ones. Those are the ones that all the benefits and all the things that are going to go away are going to impact them the most. So if people don't get it, I don't know what else to tell them, and they won't understand talking to. They don't understand people telling them this is a problem. They're going to have to feel it, and it sucks
they
that they have to find out.
When you're like, here's the math behind tariffs. They're like, whatever. Trump said that we're going to get more money, and it's like, okay.
Most blacks live in red states.
And that's what sucks.
I was just about to say that,
and that's
to
what
the
sucks.
black Democrat in Alabama, that's sucks.
Yeah, and I guarantee you this: it's going to be
get the pain.
It will be worse for that black in Mississippi than it'll be worse for that white in Mississippi. That's a fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's why this stuff keeps happening. I can't do anything about that.
We tried.
They have to figure it out.
We tried. They have to figure it out now. I can't. People have to figure it out now. That's where we are.
That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where it's whether or not it's something where maybe we collectively come together and be like, let's try to help create a plan for people to follow, if they'll even follow it.
Yeah.
Right. Who knows? But it's at the end of the day, it's dude, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. You got to read the tea leaves and move accordingly.
Oh man,
America voted in a person that said, "I want to be a dictator," and let a mob on the Capitol run over it, and we voted him again president.
And he's pardoning 1,000 of them.
And it's part of 1,000, and he pardoned all of them right now. And his whole party's well, yeah, that's what should have happened. After those were the things that were running away from them in the Capitol, and they're still yeah, go ahead. So you can't explain things to people anymore. They have to just feel it, and it's gonna be bad, and they're gonna feel it, and we all have to feel it. We all have to make plans to mitigate the damage to ourselves and our loved ones as best as we can.
Man, this is so depressing.
Can we talk about the pardons for a minute?
Yeah, go for
it. He pardoned, I think, 1,500 people.
Yeah.
Most of the people he pardoned, they already did their sentence, or they already did their sentence, or whatever it was, And so for a lot of people, that was just, it was, they already did the time, so it didn't really matter. But what it did do was, one, it restored their voting rights if they had their voting rights taken away because they were convicted felons. And two, it reinstalled their gun rights if they had those taken away because they were a convicted felon. So some of those people, it didn't matter because they already did their time, but now they get their voting and gun rights back.
Well, I think he pardoned Enrique Torrio, and he was getting 20 years. He's literally
get 22 years.
Yeah, so he is definitely getting off on a lot of time by being pardoned.
Oh yeah. But he's in the minority. I think they said 600 or 700 had already. Yeah. They were already done.
I mean, the justification from Trump was they were set up by the FBI, and this is the department he's about to run. This is. I mean, I guess it does go back to people are gonna accept this and fine, but to pardon people who try to overturn the election is wow.
The thing with that is that because they did not, people didn't care.
Okay, that's yeah.
It's kind of I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this dude from West Virginia, right? This Democrat dude, white guy, who was staying at a YMCA in DC, and at one point in time he purchased an AR-15, right? They brought him from West Virginia. And they're practicing for their baseball game. And he goes up to the Capitol Police and he was like, "Hey, which field are the Republicans practicing?" And they're like, "Oh, over there." He's like, "Thank you." He went over there and tried to shoot them niggas up with the AR-15, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he was doing because he missed everybody except for Steve Scalise. But he had the weapon that blows children up. He didn't blow them up. And because Steve Scalise, no one died. Steve Scalise was hurt. He became a hero. Even though a black lesbian woman who also got shot was the one who saved his life, he was like, "By the way, I hate black women and I hate gays." It's like
he
so
said I'm
hard.
David Duke without the baggage.
Right. So like, you know what I'm saying? So and that's the thing, it's like because these fools keep getting away from these assassination attempts, we forget about them. Like the Donald Trump thing, we forgot about that shit in 2 months. We
Yeah.
forgot about that shit in 2 months. Had his brains blown up, we would be talking like the country would
We'd be living in a different world. Yeah.
into a completely different world. Like it would be.
I want to be in that world.
I mean, that world now looks a lot. Like, I was like, okay, it's not gonna matter, but like that world would have been very different. But that's the thing, right? It's like they don't fully understand or grasp that things like January 6th was a huge egregious issue because the train still left the station.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing about Americans. Like we literally, I'm not joking. People did the whole, he's not going to try to do that, right? Thing again.
Yeah.
He did that in 2016. Like he's just joking when he says that. Oh, he tried to do that shit. He does Latinos. No. When he says criminals, he doesn't mean me. I'm undocumented. I got my naturalization last week. And they're like, yeah, we won. Okay, cool. We're doing denaturalization. I had to look this shit up. Like the Google spike, I was part of the Google spike. Like, denaturalization, is that a fucking thing? I've never heard of such a thing.
I haven't either.
That's crazy.
What is it?
When you basically become a naturalized citizen, and it's like, nah.
I mean, I guess if
nah.
it's conditional, like they can revoke it under certain conditions, right?
Yeah, like you committed a crime or
Yeah.
like stuff like that, they can revoke it.
But basically,
But I don't know what they're just like. He's talking about just doing it. Just
yeah, he's talking
because,
about
hey, I don't want you
doing
here.
it just because you're like Latino. Or
like you got
Asian.
naturalized last week. That sucks to be you. It's like, but I paid my attorney and I paid my like, yeah, you're illegal now.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna
you're a
take that
citizen.
away.
They just uncitizen you?
Yes.
Yes, like by a wave of a hand, like
Yeah,
you are now uncitizen.
We're in a new world.
They keep saying, oh, we're just going after the criminals.
we
That's
don't
not
have
who they're
that.
going. They're gonna get the rule followers first because they know where they are.
Yeah.
So
There's not a system for that.
No, they're gonna make one. And going back to what you said, then they're gonna be like, wait a minute, that's not legal. Let's go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court's gonna be like, fuck you want me to do? He's king.
Yeah, and I think that's the scary part about all of it is that even the 14th Amendment should protect you, but at the end of the day, the Supreme Court it shouldn't be able to overturn it. But kind of going back to what we said though, the 14th Amendment was made for Black people, and there's not one white American that's ever had to think to themselves, "I wonder if I'm really an American." I agree. I don't know if it was Korea or Osei that said, I do think that there would be a lot of Americans okay ending birthright citizenship.
Yes.
I think that'd be popular.
Yeah. He ran on it. They were on his side and saying mass deportations.
Yeah.
He ran on it. And the people who voted for him knew that he ran on it. Like it wasn't like, oh, he said that? No, he didn't say that, did he? It wasn't that. They were like, oh no, he said that shit. But
the Supreme Court wouldn't get a lot of flack for overturning it.
Absolutely
not. Because there's a lot of Americans that are okay ending it, and then there's a lot that are just indifferent. Like, to be honest, I guess I'm kind of indifferent. I don't think it's a good idea.
You know why I'm indifferent? It's 55% of Latinos.
Yeah.
For the dude. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you're right.
55 should have slapped the fuck out of whoever was in their community that was like, no, I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump because I don't give a shit.
But okay, but here's my problem. And this is, I guess, one of these old like parables. If they could take your rights away, eventually they can take my rights away, right? So
I was prepared to be deported to Ghana. I get it. Does that make sense? Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Green and I have nowhere to go.
Yeah, we don't have some palatial estate in Ghana that we can go to. Like, we're 10 toes down in America.
okay. If that's the case, develop a plan. I don't know what to tell you. I told you guys this earlier. Figure the shit out because you're living in a world where the things are happening.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do. Like, I have my whole exit plan. Like, okay, so they end up trying to put people in camps. I'm not gonna wait for that shit. I'm gonna get my the visa so I can go over there. I have all my application to get citizenship, to get the Ghanaian citizenship. It'll be super easy. My dad's over there, blah blah blah. I had to do all that because I am literally the son of a dude who came here on a student visa and got an O1. But still, I don't know. Like you said, they could be like, you know what?
But Korean our family has been here for centuries.
Yes.
We don't have literally been here for centuries, so we can't do that. We can't do the thing. We can't,
There are countries like Bahamas and Ghana, and others that are taking African Americans and giving them citizenship pretty easily. Something to take a look at. Now, obviously, you probably would have to, figure out how you're going to get your money together. But like honestly, the average salary in Ghana is like $500. So like, if you had a good $2,000, you could actually move over there.
Yeah, just sell my house.
I guess the argument is to go after Black America, that's going to be a heavy lift. So I feel like that would be like the end game.
Oh no, they can't go into Chicago to get Latinos, bro. Like going after Black America is like fucking impossible.
That's like Final Boss. That's like Final Boss shit.
It's gonna be the August 5th jump in Birmingham all over again. Like it's gonna be a fucking fight in the goddamn street, and the world's gonna be like, what?
Yeah. I mean, Trump will be long dead before they get that into action. Yeah. So that can't happen.
I mean, things would have to really hit the fan. But I'm not saying it's impossible, but things would have to really hit the fan.
But you also have to remember something in all of this, right? Like, and this is the part that because you always have to look at things from a very macro level, very holistically. The reason all this shit is happening in the first place is because I don't know if you guys know this. You know what the white population of the world is? What percentage? What do you think it is?
Well, you said it earlier, so I won't answer.
You said 7%, 10%, whatever.
So it used to be 9 about 4 years ago. Now it's 7.
Yeah, but most white people don't know that.
Most white people don't know that, but they feel it.
Okay,
and they feel it because going back to what we were saying before, the reason why they don't want any more DEI is because they're sick and fucking tired of watching Tide commercials where the dad is black, the mom is white, and they've got this black and white.
They hate that. They hate that.
They hate that shit. They hate that shit. Like it is what it is. They hate that.
Even a lot of black people hate it, but
they're like, "Why are you pushing this agenda down my throat? Your agenda, your agenda." And it's like, my nigga, people are like, it is like they've done the math. Like the companies aren't doing this because they're pushing an agenda. They're like, what percentage of Americans are going to be basically biracial by the year blah blah blah? Sure. Oh, it's basically more than 50%. Okay, then we have to do something about it. So like that's the issue that they're running into, which is why they're talking about replacement theory, which is why they're mad that Indians are coming over here getting the good jobs, which is why they're mad that black people fucking exist, especially people who look like me because I'm black as hell. So if I end up having a baby with a white girl, that thing's gonna come out basically looking like Chaz, like a full-on nigga. Like, no, it's true. Like Obama is a half black, he's a half African, half white person. Barack Hussein Obama literally looks like he's all nigga. He looks darker than Steph Curry. Like that's what happened. So the last thing they want me to be here, which is why I was scoping out the house. But anyways, but that's the root of the whole issue, right? But you can't get away from that because recessive genes are recessive genes. And I'm not saying this in terms of like, some kind of weird like black, but like I'm loaded with dominant genes. This nose ain't going to disappear. My lobes ain't going to disappear. The brown hair, all that shit's going to stay for the end of time. It just kind of is what it is.
And your argument is that white people essentially kind of intuitively know that and they're threatened by it.
They know that, but they can't fight it.
They're fighting it now.
Well, no, they're fighting it tooth and nail because it's getting to that point. And you're seeing that all through Europe. You're seeing that all through even Canada's starting to go through that a little bit. Like 43% of Canada basically is MAGA, but like the Canada version. Like you're starting to see part of that because people are like, wait a minute, I'm becoming obsolete. And people like Osei are dating, basically, the people who look like my daughter. And all of a sudden, whiteness is going away. We went from 9% to 7%. And I'm afraid I'm going to start losing stuff. So I got to start taking people's stuff now. Right? But the problem is, that while they're having that thought, the billionaires are like, these dumb motherfuckers don't realize it to us are the same.
Yeah.
So we can use them to fight these other people. And while they're going after it, talking about I'm liberal, I'm conservative, I'm liberal, I'm conservative, I'm taking all your money. Because to me, you guys are a bunch of social security numbers that have to pay that make money and have to pay taxes. And I want you to pay more so I can pay less. That is exactly where we're at.
I wish the biggest conversation we were having tonight was why wasn't Michelle there? But this is Kareem. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Can you kind of talk about what the implications are for Biden pardoning Fauci and
General Milley,
Kissinger?
brother.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
I thought about that. I don't feel like a lot of them asked for pardons. I think he just gave it to them. But I feel like Biden has left some breadcrumbs to let us know that we're in for some tough times. I
Yeah.
mean, his farewell speech, he talked about, I mean, he's the one that says he's like, yeah, there's a techno oligarchy coming and
Yeah.
we got to
And
stop it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he said. Like,
Yeah. But then there's the problem with Biden is if you're gonna go like that, you got to go the whole nine. You can't go that route and be like, oh, then I'm gonna like walk with Trump to the Rose Garden and I'm going to like have tea with him. I feel like you got to go one way or the other. So if you're gonna talk about how this is a threat and I gotta pardon all these people to protect them, you can't also treat Trump like a normal president.
yeah,
And
shake his hand and go
Yeah,
yeah,
home.
but he
he wanted to
talks
have it
so
both
much about
ways.
he talks so much about decorum and peaceful transfer of power. He was kind of
Sure.
backed into a wall where he couldn't have said, "I'm not going." It's not normal, but he talked so much about bringing normality. How would it look if he were to say, "I'm not going," I'm not going to go to the inauguration. I'm not going to, do all that stuff. When he that's kind of that's kind of part of the other side of the coin for him.
Yeah, I like. I'm not saying it was the easiest decision, and yeah, he talked a lot about that. But I think at a certain point, either Trump's a threat or he isn't. You know,
Right.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he's a threat, you gotta at least let people know, like Democrats and voters and people who are opposed to this, that yes, he is a threat, and I'm treating him like a threat. Like you're just confusing people at a certain point. Like if you're just like this
Mhm.
guy's a threat, but like I gotta follow decorum and like peaceful transfer of power, so I'm gonna like. So I just feel like there were some contradictions that are confusing more than like illuminating, or more like, hey, like we're gonna keep decorum. Like decorum's dead. Like that
Yeah,
phase
Form's
of
dead.
like it's over.
yeah,
Like the norms and like, hey, like it's over. It's over. And
Right.
Trump was born. I mean, Biden was born before World War II. Like he literally grew up and was an old man at a totally different age.
Right.
But like if you're under 30, you're like this is almost normal now. So why
yeah.
like so why pretend like it's not? Like why pretend like there's some age that like we were in that we're not really in? That's
So
my
what's your thoughts on the Biden pardons?
I think he was doing people a solid. I think he understands that there's a potential for a lot of bullshit to come. I'm with Curry, obviously, because I'm a little bit, more radical of the four of us in terms of how I take things. Where it's like, don't be like, why am I talking to you? Because I agree with that. I think it's mixed messages for Obama to sit next to this guy Keane when he was
Yeah,
like,
something like that.
he's like, you're a dirty Kenyan Negro who's not American, and you're the worst president of all time, and I hate your fucking guts. And your wife is like, you stupid Uncle Tom coon ass nigga. I can't believe you're going over there to sit next to this guy. And I'm supposed to sit next to him in the seating chart. You got to be out of your fucking mind. I have something to do in Hawaii. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
with Michelle on that shit.
Yeah,
That's
and,
like,
I, and, I'm,
like
and
you
I'm with her
can't.
on that.
Yeah, you can't do all this. He's a threat to democracy that we've been talking about for basically 8 years, and then everyone's like, Biden's are smiling in his face, and Barack Obama's laughing, and well, no, fuck that. Like,
Yeah,
sorry. If he's a threat, then act like he's a threat. He didn't stop being a threat because he won.
right.
No,
Like
that's why he is
was
a threat.
yeah. Like that's the problem. So like, yes, what Michelle did is right. Like, no, I'm not celebrating this motherfucker. Like, fuck
Right.
that. Like, no, AOC's like, no, I don't celebrate rapists. Like, I'm not going to the fucking inauguration.
Right.
Like, so like, no, that, treat him accordingly, like the threat he is.
Right.
But
And
people won't because
and
they
that's and that's
capitulate.
and that's really when it comes to him, because it's keeping it a buck. he is a lame duck president to a certain degree, right? Like, unless obviously, like, hey, Supreme Court, I should get another 4 years. But even then, what is he, 83, 84 years old or something?
He'd
Like,
be 84 at the end. He's not.
you know
There's
what I'm
not going to
saying?
be
Like,
another.
at that point, it's like, just die. Like, hurry up and die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do this for another 8 years. Sorry, dude. Like, at some point, Father Time is undefeated. Ask LeBron James. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll probably try to put somebody else up there, but the problem is that they're not going to be him.
No.
Right? And so it's like, and that's what I mean. Like, at some point in time, all this stuff is going to come crashing down. All this stuff is not going to make any sense. The cult of personality, like anything else, it's like watching Chicken Boo. Like, at some point in time, people go, "Wait, that's a fucking chicken." You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the episode is over.
He has to deliver.
Yeah, because he has to deliver, and he got up there and he said everything about grocery prices, and he said everything about getting rid of 11 million immigrants. So even if you are about that shit, you don't want to hear, "I'm not going into Chicago to do anything." Now, again, if he becomes super inept, let's say they don't get rid of elections in 2 years, and he does enough stuff to make sure that the House goes the other direction. Let's say for whatever reason the Senate goes the other direction, even though I don't know how that's possible. But let's say that that would end up happening. Then what the hell are we talking about?
Well, I think that kind of to your point, if he's a lame duck president, then he's allowed to be inept. Like, he doesn't have to do anything because he's a lame duck president. Like, he's not running for re-election,
Right.
so he doesn't actually have to get anything done. The only thing he has to get done right now is make some money for himself.
Right, which is what he's doing.
Which he's doing. But to kind of go back to the pardons real quick, I think that the pardons. I think that the pardons. It sucks because giving the pardons make it look like they needed to be pardoned for some reason. But I don't think that they got. I think what happened is Biden called Fauci and all these other people at the 11th hour and said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna sign the pardon. Are you good with it or not?" And Fauci and all the one people that pardoned said, "Yeah, go ahead and sign it." Go.
Yeah.
You know, like he didn't do it without them saying. None of them said, "Hey, absolutely not. Don't give me a pardon." He called them at the end and said, "Look, it's Trump. I can protect you right now, but Trump's coming after you. I know he's coming after you. Do you want it or not?" And they were like, "Yeah, let me get it."
I mean, that situation, I'd probably take one too.
Yeah,
absolutely, me too.
Yeah, they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And that tells you how dangerous this man is. That they feel the need to pardon people who've done nothing wrong.
Right, and they knew they none of them got it against their own will. They knew that they had to accept the pardon. Like, hey, this is what's best for me and my family. That I accept this pardon because I really could end up in jail, or I will be in jail.
I mean, also at the same time, why wouldn't you accept the pardon? Even if you're like, I didn't ask for this, but it's like, just be like, yeah, just take it anyway.
I mean, I think there's a principle. I think there's a principle stand. You could be like, I don't need a pardon because I didn't do anything wrong. So why would I take a pardon?
In politics in 2025?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But Fauci's not a politician. Fauci's not a politician.
He's not a politician, but he's in that world. Like when you have Joe Rogan talking to JD Vance about how you should be in prison, you're in it.
Can you imagine being Fauci, but like I have to get a pardon to like protect myself from going to prison when I was literally just trying to save people's lives? Man,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
If he didn't get a pardon, he 1000% would be going to jail. They would make sure that happens. They would. It's the truth. He's like public enemy number one with them. They ran on it. You 1000% they would send him to jail.
A doctor.
Yes. Huh? We just got the WHO, right? WHO is like, the fuck you mad at me for?
Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't even make any sense.
Like, okay.
What did I do?
What did I do?
Like, if you ask, what percentage of people would, if you ask, like, hey, we just put out WHO, do you know why? What percentage of people would know why? Whatever the right wing answer for that is.
I don't know why.
No, it's zero. So okay, sorry. So this is
it's in Project 2025. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, this is what they'd say is the reason. They'd be like, because they're just taking all our money, and they were trying to get everybody to close down everything and blah blah. And they were trying to infringe on our rights, and they're not even an American, whatever. And they were trying to infringe. right? Like
Okay.
it would be a lot of that kind of stuff, but it wouldn't be
We're
anything
founding
outside.
member.
What's up?
We're a founding member.
Yes. They don't know that. They don't care about that. All they
Yeah,
know
they
is
don't care about that.
North Carolina. I didn't want to wear a mask.
You were
Yeah.
hood.
You're a hood.
So fuck the WHO.
Yeah, we're a country where laws like that happen. So
Yeah.
What?
we're a country where in Oklahoma you can't have homeless shelters outside of Tulsa and Oklahoma City. You just can't have them.
And no, not even that.
makes
Not even
no
that.
sense.
If you're a woman running away from domestic violence, you can't get help.
Yeah.
And you definitely can't stay with
That makes no sense.
stay with a friend.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
No, these next 4 years aren't gonna make a lot of sense. But one thing I do know is we're definitely like in oligarchy lands where it's the only value that's gonna matter is money
Yep.
and power.
Yeah.
That's it. And they're gonna be the same thing. Obviously, if the richest people in the world are behind Trump, like they're basically saying money equals power.
Yep.
So anyways, yeah, let's end it there. Chaz, Justin, Osei. Uh depressing day, but I guess after it burns down there'll be some trees growing. So then we can
Just buy some seeds.
Yep.
have some
Buy some
seeds.
seeds.
Yeah,
That's all
buy,
I'm saying.
Buy
Buy
some
some
seeds.
Hey, just
yeah,
try to live. That's all. Just try to survive.
buy some seeds. All right, fellas.
Yeah. All right.
Peace.
Bye.